Hello everybody. That's what I was gonna say. Hello everybody. Hello. Welcome to my art retreat travel vlog. So me and Tom's my partner, he's a photographer. We're going on an art retreat holiday today. It's our own, we've made it up ourselves, we've hired a little cottage on Airbnb and we're going right across the country to the seaside. And I'm so excited. So now I've got to pack all my art things and the weather's pouring down today. I'm hoping that the gods and goddesses and angels grant us some sunshine because we don't want to pack the car when it's all raining. And so I'm going to share what I'm going to take with me on my art retreat travel adventure. I'm going to have to call it something, aren't I? Seaside art retreat adventure. I don't know. And I'm going to pack all the stuff that I need because I'm going to do painting outside. I'm going to do lots of drawing, all sorts of things like that. Tom's going to do lots of photography. We have got the dog with us, so we are kind of limited in the way of how long we can be out and things like that. But that's all right. So let's get packing, should we? I'm thinking I've got this from when I was at college. It's like a toolbox and it's quite good because you can sit on it as well as putting stuff inside it. So at the minute it's full of paint, so I'm going to have to empty that out and put stuff in there. So that's what I'm thinking. I am going to take this sketchbook. So it's a twin sketchbook. It's got watercolour paper in one half and then it's got cartridge paper in the other half. And because it's a ring binder, it means that you can have it legged flat, so that's really good for drawing and painting on. So I'm going to take that one with me. And I also made a sketchbook. I did bookbinding, a bookbinding class. It's not the best bookbinding I've done. It was the first one that I've done, but that's just plain paper for, I'm thinking sketching and printing botanicals as well. Okay, so the other things that I'm going to take, I was thinking of taking pastels, but they are quite messy and crumbly. So instead, I'm going to take some Inktense pens. The blocks, Inktense blocks they are. And these are by Derwent and they're really bright colours. And they're nice because you can add them as a crayon, but you can also add water to them to make them a watercolour. So I'm going to take them. I've actually got a massive tin with 72 in, and it is quite heavy. It's got loads of colours in though. Got 2 layers of colours. Look at all the colours. I was going to take all of these. These cannot be for travelling, but they could be for at the cottage for later. But I don't know if that's a silly idea because they are quite heavy. I think I might just take my little tin and I might change some of the colours and add a couple more greens in there. I think that's what I'll do. I'm also going to take my watercolour pencils. These are all in different colours as well. I'm going to take some of them. And I'm going to take a couple of fine liners to draw with. So the Macron ones. I'm going to take a couple of them as well. And I was unsure about taking paint, but I think I am going to take my paint. I'm going to take my watercolours. These are Daler Rowney, and they've also got Winsor & Newton pans in there as well, the professional ones. I'm going to take some of them, I think. I'm going to change out some of the pans because I do have a brand new set. So I'm going to take, which you can see I've already taken some out. Like my white, I don't have a white in there. So I'm going to swap some over so I've got the right colours. I will take them. And I'm going to take 3 brushes. I've got one like that. Can you see that? Let's get a bit of... So I've got one that's like that, which is really nice for making leaves. I've got a thinner one, and then I've got this round flathead one. All my brushes are nylon, synthetic. I don't use any animal hair in my brushes, so I only need 3 brushes. I'm going to take my favourite pencil, which is not that one, a 6B, there it is. My 6B, which is my favourite pencil ever. I'm going to take that with me as well. And I think I'm going to take my box of felt tips. So in here I've got felt tips, but I've also got a couple of Sharpies and a highlighter and stuff as well. So I'm going to take them, and they come in this plastic box, which is quite handy, really. So I don't need 3 black Sharpies, really, do I? And I don't need a gold pen. I do want a biro though, I'll keep that in. Don't need my Jelly Roll pen, I won't be using that. So, to be honest, I don't think I'll be using a Sharpie either. No, I don't think I will. I'm going to swap them out for a calligraphy pen. So I'll put my highlighters in there and my pencil. Will it fasten? Yes, it will. Look at that. So I've never actually done a travelling kit before where I've been going away from the house. You know, like on holiday, I mean. I've done a travelling kit where I've taken it out and I've just like gone to the town and done sketching. But I've never done it where I've actually gone on holiday. So this is the first time for me, and I was really unsure what to take because I do like to use lots of different mediums. But I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to get my stuff packed now and let's go to the cottage. It took us quite a few hours to get here, and we stayed in an Airbnb cottage in Skelton in Cleveland. This was the front room, and it was really cosy. It had a lovely fire that we cozied down to in the evening. I've wanted to visit Saltburn by the Sea for an awfully long time. It has a funicular railway, and I've always wanted to go because it looks so picturesque, but actually I didn't really enjoy it that much, if I'm honest. It was very touristy, there was lots of people, it was a really dull and cold overcast day, which didn't help. I think it'd probably be better if it was sunny. There was a weird smell of chip fat, which I later learnt was beef dripping that they cooked the chips in this area, and it just smelled horrible. So I really didn't like it. It was good to explore though, and I always like going to new places. Badger loved it. He loved sniffing all the beach and all the smells, and there was lots of dogs for him to make friends with. He really had a good time, but I didn't enjoy it too much here. Tom also was full of cold on the first couple of days that we arrived, and he wasn't feeling himself, and I think I was picking up on his energy as well. So this is the funicular railway, and unfortunately there was a fire in this lower cabin. You'll see it in a moment, and they've not managed to fix it yet. There was a sign on the door saying that they was hoping to have it open for Easter, but it wasn't ready yet. So here's the cabin, and that's the lift, and you'll see later on I'm at the top and you'll see the view all over the bay, and it is a beautiful view, it really is, and it is interesting, and I really love these beach huts as well. So we are in the cottage now, and I've set up a little area in the front room because where the table is in the dining room, which is where I thought I was going to be working on, it's really dark, but right next to the window in the front room it's nice and bright. So I've moved one of the dining armchairs out of the way, and I've brought this little table in that was in the kitchen and a chair from upstairs, and I've made this little area. It's really cute. I'll show it you now. So I set this little area up because it had the best light, and look at this old picture. This is the lady that originally owned the house back in the Victorian times. I just think she's so beautiful, and I think she probably loved botanicals like me. So it was really nice last night. We just had some food and then settled down, and on the way here, oh my god, it was amazing. A deer stopped right in front of the car. Oh, I grabbed hold of Tom's arm. I was like, oh my god, like I daren't breathe. Tom slowed right down and it just stood looking at us right in front of the car, and then it jumped over the fence and ran into the woods. I'll show it you. And I also saw a barn owl on the way. We saw grouse, pheasants, little baby lambs. Yeah, there was all sorts of animals. It was amazing. And then last night when we was going to bed, I was laid in bed and I could hear a barn owl hooing. And it just reminded me when I was a kid. And as I was falling asleep, I was thinking, oh, I'd love to wake up to a wood pigeon, because when I was a little girl there was a wood pigeon that lived in the tree outside my bedroom, and then when I woke up this morning there was a wood pigeon. It's so lovely. Anyway, Tom's just getting ready and then we're going to go to the beach. We're going to stay quite close to home, to the cottage today. We're here on our art retreat holiday on the beach at Runswick Bay, and we've walked all the way along. We've been looking for fossils but we've not found any yet, unfortunately. The seaweed here is amazing. Anywhere on this coast of Yorkshire and North England, the seaweed is huge. Now I want to just tell you something. If you've not grown up by the sea, you might not know this, but the sea is really high tide, and that means that the sea comes in and out and covers the beaches here in the UK. So one day you will go to the beach and there will be the beach, and the next day you'll go and it'll be sea. And it is quite dangerous if you don't know where the sea is coming in and how far it comes in. So where we're walking now on this clip, you can see that it's all wet, and that's because it wasn't long since that the sea went out. I checked the tide times in the morning. So if you're visiting England and you're going to be by the sea, go online, go on Google and just put in tide times and the place that you're staying, and it'll tell you when it's low tide, which means when the sea's gone out, and when it's high tide, which means when the sea's come in. Now if you know about this, you're probably thinking, why is she telling people this? It's common knowledge. It actually isn't. I used to live in Blackpool. I grew up in Blackpool, which is a seaside town in the northwest, and I worked as a resort ambassador for the council, and the amount of people that came over to us in a day and said, where's the beach gone? The beach was here yesterday and now it's not here anymore, was unbelievable. And I didn't realise that people didn't know about the tides, and this is how a lot of people end up drowning. So you must check the tide times. Now, as a rough guide, when it says low tide, that means you've got roughly 3 hours either side. So you've got roughly 3 hours when it's high tide, and then after 3 hours it'll be low tide, and then it will start going up to high tide again. So basically, if it says low tide at 11 o'clock in the morning, for example, you know that if you get there for 9:30 or 10 o'clock, the sea will have already started to go out. and that means you've got some beach. And then what you must do is, so if it goes out at 11, 12, 1, 2, so you want to be getting off the beach for like 1:30, because then the tide has started coming in. Now this is especially important if you've got little children or you've got dogs with you, and watch the way that the sea comes in. All seas come in different ways. Some come in on a curve, some come in like a snake, some come in weird ways. So if you're there early enough to see the sea go out, watch where it goes out and comes in, and be aware so you don't get stranded and cut off somewhere. We did actually see 2 people right on the edge of the cliffs walking around. It was really dangerous, and the sea had come in, and I mean they did get off alright, but it is super dangerous. And also over this coast the cliffs are dangerous too, because there's always rock falls, so you do have to keep your distance and just be aware. If you see at the bottom of the cliffs there's massive piles of rock, that means that there are probably likely to be more rocks falling down. When we was walking along here, you could actually hear in parts, it was like cracking and falling. So it's really important as well to just be aware of your safety. It is beautiful being on the beach, I absolutely love it, but I grew up on the beach, so I do know the dangers of it. We decided to take this day as a kind of slow, restful day. Tom had been driving a lot, so it was nice for him to have a break from driving as well, and we just walked around the area that we were staying in, and we was greeted by these amazing views Oh my gosh, you could see right to the sea, all the way across. And it was really lovely, and we had a lovely walk with the dog. We saw a horse. We didn't go near the horse with the dog, we saw it in the distance. We heard all the birds singing, and we chatted to some locals too. It was a really nice experience exploring the area that we were staying in. And you'll see in a little while that I point to a house, and that's the house that we are staying in. Dog Tom. After our walk and some lunch, I decided that I'd do a little bit of painting. It was really difficult taking my sketchbook out to sit outside and draw because it was quite windy. Even on the days when it was really sunny and nice, it was super windy, and I'd forgotten my bulldog clips. I'd left them at home, so I had nothing to keep my paper down with. So I did sit at this table quite often and just do some little sketching and little drawings, and today I just thought I'll just do a little house. Opposite where we were staying, there was really cute houses, all very different, and I just kind of took an artistic liberty and put a few together and just used some watercolour and painted this. It's not a grand masterpiece, and that doesn't matter. The whole point of it was that I had fun and I just got out the paints and had a go, and that's what I encourage you all to do. Even if you think that you can't paint or you can't draw, just have a go. It's just loads of fun, and I'm sure that you did it when you was a little child, and you know, when you're a child you don't actually think that you're not good enough to do something, you just do it. So it is really nice just to get out some paints. I have speeded this video up, otherwise we'd have been here quite a while. And I am using my Winsor & Newton watercolour paints here, and I'm also using some watercolour pencils as well to do some finer details. And my plan is that I will go over this with a black marker pen at some point, and just define some of the areas. Oh my goodness, Staithes was beautiful. This is a shop. In fact, it's quite a few shops. There was a deli, a sweet shop, a cafe, all sorts behind that facade of the shop. And this was an art studio that I visited, and I fell in love with this woman's paintings. They are so good. I'll also link her in the description. This was an amazing little village right next to the beach. We didn't know it was going to be here. All I thought was it was going to be the beach. So it was amazing to discover this. And all I kept thinking about when I was walking around was about my American Patreons and my American viewers, how excited they'd be to see this gorgeous little village. It was a bit overcast this day, so the sunlight wasn't coming through the clouds, and unfortunately it didn't show it in the best light, but I still wanted to video it anyway because it was so picturesque and beautiful. It turns out that the land and most of these cottages are owned by a Duke and Duchess, who also owns, I can't remember how many acres, but it's a lot of acres of land in this area. They also own shops, a car park, long-term let properties, all sorts of stuff. And you can actually rent some of these cottages to stay on holiday. I had a look on their website and it is rather expensive, but I think for a special treat it would be a beautiful place to stay. Oh, gotcha! Tons of driftwood down there. Oh, look. I will tag the company that owns the cottages in the description below. And look at this, a bumblebee. The first bumblebee that I saw when I was on holiday. I love it when the bees come back on these great hyacinths. And what's really special about this little village that you'll see is the river that runs through it actually runs under that bridge to the sea, which is just crazy. So here I am looking back on the village, and I'm going to pan round to show you how close the sea and the beach is to all these little houses. And there's the sea. There it is across that road. Isn't it crazy? If you visit here, there's a car park to your left. We completely missed it when we drove in and parked at a car park further down in the town. The parking charges were, I think, £6 for a few hours. You could get it a bit cheaper as well, but I put quite a bit on the car because we wanted to explore further. This beach was really lovely, and like I said before, it was a dull, overcast day, sadly, because I think in the sunshine it had been even more magnificent. So I'm on the beach again and it's amazing. What's really interesting about this place is we've just been to a little village that is next to the beach. It's weird, it looked like it was in the Cotswolds or something, like really cute houses, and then you walk across the road and then there's the sea. I mean, it's really weird but amazing. I'd love to live there. The cottages are so cute. So behind me is all cliffs and there's all these little holes in the cliffs where apparently boggles and goblins live, and if you walk all the way along the beach you can walk to Whitby. I think it's about 2.5 miles maybe. Oh my god, I just love being by the sea, and this holiday's been so nice because we've been to the seaside nearly every day in a different location. So I've had a marvellous time. I haven't actually made that much art, to be honest, because by the time we've got home I've just wanted to chill out and nap a lot, but it's been so restorative and refreshing, and I've got lots of pictures to take inspiration from for making art for the future. So I hope you've enjoyed this video of our art retreat seaside holiday. It's been marvellous. The rest of this video is when I'm back at home and I'm painting seashells. So if you are not interested in me painting seashells and you painting along with me, stop the video now and thanks for watching. But if you do want to paint along with me, then go ahead, it's good fun. So I sprayed my watercolours before I started to get them nice and wet. And this is really good because the water soaks in and then it gives you a more vibrant colour. And you can see here I'm painting on this weird little slab thing. It's actually iron ore and it's pigment set that I got when we visited Cumbria. You can see that in a previous video, and actually it doesn't blend that well. I totally forgot about that it didn't blend that well, but it didn't matter. I also wet my paper before I started painting as well, which is called wet on wet. And I just had fun painting some seashells. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. As always, I really love reading your comments and replying to your comments as well. I'm really grateful for all the support I get on these videos. It just really inspires me to make more, and feel free to pop in the comments what you'd like me to make videos on in future, if there's anything that I've missed out. And I hope you had a wonderful week and have a fabulous April. We're already in April. Can you believe it? It's crazy. This year is flying by. Anyway, lots of love to you. Enjoy, keep creating, keep being you, keep being magical, and I'll see you in the next video.